Hello students, let me explain the topic reason for upthrust. Okay, for that, if we consider this liquid which is contained in a vessel, then what happens? This liquid exerts pressure in all directions that we know. It can exert pressure upward, downward, sideways, in all directions. Okay, second fact that you have to understand is that if I consider this point, then pressure exerted at a point is same in all direction. Okay, if you consider this point, then pressure acting from here to towards this, towards this, towards this, towards this, towards every direction is same. At any point the pressure exerted will be same. See, there are two facts that you have to understand. First fact is that liquid contained in a vessel exerts pressure at all points and in all directions. So here pressure is there in every point. Okay, at every point the pressure is there, and from one point it exerts pressure in all directions. That's the first fact. Second fact is that the pressure at a point in liquid is same in all directions. So if I choose a point over here, the pressure at a point at this point in all direction is same. Okay, that's another fact. And the one more fact that we know is that as we go towards the depth, the pressure increases. Okay, as we go towards the depth, then pressure increases. Now using this fact, we'll understand the cause or the reason for thrust. So if we have a block which is immersed in a liquid, okay, then this block, see, at this point the pressure P2 is acting. At this point the pressure P1 is acting. So P1 is acting downward and P2 is acting upward. Now P1, see, this P1 is this point. So P1 is at less depth than P2. Okay, P2 is at greater depth. So if you look at the depth, then we can say P2 is more than P1, which is obvious. P2 is more than P1. So pressure acting up is more than pressure acting down. Okay, and see, these are the points. If you choose these points, then also here the pressure is acting. Okay, the pressure is acting at this point also. But if we choose this point, see, this point and this point and this point and this point are at same depth. So whatever the pressure which is acting this direction, the same pressure will be acting this direction. Whatever the pressure which is at this depth acting in this direction, the same pressure which is acting in this direction with this depth will be same. As a result, this pressure and this pressure will be equal and opposite, or this force and this force will be equal and opposite. Okay, because of that this will balance, this force will balance. But this P2 is greater than P1. Because of that only the net force acts. We know that if we choose the cross section area of this block is A, then there's a difference in pressure which is P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1. Okay, and force would be pressure into area. Force would be difference in pressure, P2 minus P1, and area, if you choose A, then the net force would be P2 minus P1 into A. Okay, that force is the force which is acting upward, and that force we call it upthrust. So this is the reason that there is upthrust, because there is a pressure difference as we go towards the depth. Okay, and because of that upthrust, there is an upward force acting on this block. Okay, and this is how the upthrust is generated.